The media and social media have seemed to work together to push the narrative that Beyoncé was going to appear at the 2024 DNC.
I still thought she was going.
Despite her, we'll get to it, but even her own Beyonce's representatives came out the night of the DNC and said no, she's not going to be there. But they still ran with the story anyway. Let's go to the first story. This is from Politico. This came out on August 23rd. Harris's DNC speech drew 28.9 million viewers, 500,000 more than Trump. And that is what they are telling you. Hey, look, the election's over. She beat him by 500,000 people watching the DNC.
Yeah.
But if you actually get into the numbers are actually interesting. According to this, 28.9 million viewers watched the Thursday speech. 500,000 more viewers.
Do you want to show this chart?
In 1 minute.
Oh, okay, my bad.
500,000 more viewers and tuned in to hear former President Donald Trump. Over 26 million viewers watched the fourth night of the DNC. The DNC also drew about an average of 3 million more viewers than last month's RNC over the 4 nights. They say the average is 21.8 million viewers. Take a look here at this number right here. These are the numbers, the ratings that came in every night. The big bolded number at the top right under viewing audience is persons 2 and over that have watched. Take a look at all those numbers. Now, they claim that the total was 21.8 million viewers, but if you actually average all those numbers up, could you go to the next slide? ChatGPT says that it was 21.7. So it's accurate in what they're reporting. They say it's compared to the RNC's average of 18.9 million viewers. That was their average. But why did so many people tune in? And is it as important as previous elections or previous DNCs? The DNC had an average of about 200,000 more people this year than they did in 2020. But that was 8.2 million people less than in 2016, when more than 30 million people watched Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. So if we're going to play the numbers game and we're going to say that the DNC and Kamala Harris are more popular than Trump based on the numbers, then would it be suffice to say that Kamala Harris is not as popular as Hillary Clinton because more than 8 million people tuned in to watch Hillary Clinton as opposed to Kamala Harris?
Rob, I don't know if you're going to get to this, and not to preempt it if you are. Do we know the political breakdown of the DNC audience? Because I have a sneaking suspicion there were a lot more Republicans watching the DNC to pick clips out of morbid curiosity.
Jay, you have one right here.
No, and myself as well. I didn't listen to it because I was interested. I was listening to it out of morbid curiosity. And oddly enough, my trolls on Twitter are like, the only people watching the DNC are Republican far-right. That might be true because we're looking for evidence to confirm what we already know.
And Bob, I don't know what you have to say. And then, by the way, lying to the public and saying Beyonce is going to be there. I don't know if you guys know this or not. She's ridiculously popular. So imagine how many people clicked and waited, Tom, for, by the way, if somebody says, you know, when Michael Jackson was alive, Michael Jackson's going to be here. Do you have any idea how many people are going to go and watch and lines? And then he doesn't show up and people just go, yeah, something happened. But guys, since you're all here, let's just have a good time. Millions of people were probably like, oh, Beyonce's there? Let's watch. My sister loves it.
I'll give you a real-world example. I was on with 5 friends on a group text that we were texting while we were watching. And then 4 of these guys are back in Dallas. Yeah. And so we referred to it as Lady Night at the Improv. and so we were tuning in, and that was our joke. Here we go. Is this going to be high comedy? So there's 5 viewers there that we were not only completely not interested in her, we were wondering what the hell we were going to see. And we called it Lady Night at the Improv. And here she is, ladies and gentlemen.
And to the alternative of that, okay, I don't believe people who are fiercely Democratic, they love Kamala, if those people even exist, if any of them are tuning in to watch the RNC because they're so triggered by Trump. So while people like us will go and watch the DNC to learn and see what Kamala actually has to say, I don't think people from the left are going to tune into the RNC, so it even further makes that gap bigger. But that's a great point.
Absolutely. Yeah. And also, by the way, I do remember that the rumor was not just Beyonce but Taylor Swift.
Yes.
And I recall, if I'm not mistaken, Taylor Swift didn't deny it. Like, she didn't publicly say, no, I'm not coming, like Elon Musk did when he was rumored to be coming. They fudged it all around. But I have a sneaking suspicion the demographic that watched the DNC consists of a lot more middle centrist Republican or conservatives watching out of morbid curiosity to watch that train wreck 37 minutes of outright lies.
What do you think, Connor?
I mean, they've already been doing this at Kamala Harris rallies. Megan Thee Stallion did a whole concert at one of her shows.
Twerk.
One of
Rob
her
watched it
events,
twice.
whatever, yeah.
Research.
And, yes. So basically, this popular artist gave a free concert at a Kamala Harris rally. Then as soon as she left the stage, half the audience walked off.
Of course.
There was a country artist who just did it. I forget which guy it was, but he was up there basically doing a free show for Harris. Then he leaves the stage, a bunch of the audience disappears, and then she takes the stage and gives her stump speech. So they're certainly not above saying, "Oh, hey, don't tell anybody." But
Yeah, of
Beyonce's gonna
course.
come.
Yeah, they don't.
And then everyone shows up watching. Is it going to be Beyonce? Is it going to be Taylor Swift? Who's the surprise?
Yeah.
The surprise was Harris. They said the special guest that they didn't announce.
it's
was
the
Harris.
president.
Flipping lie. What a
Yeah.
And by
bunch
the way,
of liars.
but Rob, I want to know what you have to say. But and Tom, please, if you can, how much of this people going there, concert, Beyonce, whatever, are going to turn into votes?
I have a real example for you.
Please.
I used to love the writings of Hunter S. Thompson, God rest his soul.
God rest his soul. Amazing, right?
Just amazing. Fear and Loathing.
Fear and Loathing.
Fear and
Best.
Loathing in Chicago. I'm sorry,
Las Vegas. Yeah.
He talked about Rock the Vote going back to the Kerry campaign, John Kerry, doing his best to unseat George W. Bush, remember?
Of course.
And Hunter S. Thompson said, you know, we did this Rock the Vote thing. We won all those things. Trouble is, the little bastards thought it was a summer concert series. They didn't know they were supposed to go home and do something.
Oh, that's so. Yeah, exactly. So that's a great.
I saw him. I saw the interview. It was done in an interview. And so there's part of your answer. Do these people tune in and go, "Oh wow, my guy brought Beyonce on stage," or are they just enjoying the free music or whatever? Because Rock the Vote was not deemed to be as successful as they hoped it would. They promoted a lot of numbers. We got this many kids registered to vote who were 18. We got we got all this, and they threw a lot of statistics out there. But Rock the Vote did not statistically
It stopped the
move
vote.
the vote. And the last time I checked, John Kerry and the Heinz fortune that he married into did not get elected.
Yeah, weird.
It's interesting. I don't think anybody tuned into the RNC to watch Hulk Hogan, as much as I love him,
Yeah.
rip his shirt off and endorse Trump.
No.
Everybody that tuned into the RNC tuned in for Trump
Period.
to see what he was going to say. Everybody tuned into the DNC to see what Obama would say, what Michelle will say.
Megan Thee Stallion twerk for
Hillary
half an
Clinton,
hour.
if Taylor Swift's going to show up. So nobody actually showed up to go and watch. And if you actually get to the ratings, can we go back to the ratings for a second, to the rating slide? What they don't tell you, pull up the, we can show this one first. This is the RNC viewership by day. Okay, yeah, pull this one up.
Yeah, you can move our square, Jeremy. We don't need to see us. for this.
Yeah,
there you go. Thanks, buddy.
So if you take a look, the ratings for the DNC, this is the DNC, the fourth night, the night that Kamala Harris spoke. If you take a look, 28 million something tuned in, but the rating was 8.3. So everybody's going to say, well, Kamala Harris beat Trump in the ratings. Now go to the next slide if you could. If you look at day 4, when Trump spoke at the RNC on Thursday, July 19th, 25 million people tuned in. What's that rating number? It's an 8.3.
Yeah.
They tied in the rating.
Yes.
They both had an 8.3. Yes, more people were watching
Yes.
at that time.
Yes.
That means more people were watching TV at that time.
Period.
So for the amount of people that are watching, if we're going to, again, get in the numbers game, then what this proves is Trump and Kamala tied in the ratings game for their respective conventions. And on top of that, Hillary Clinton is a much more popular candidate among the Democrats than Kamala Harris ever will be.
It's just dude, the pool of and mind you, we have Trump, we have Vivek, we have some people that are, the future does look bright.
Say the names actually, because it's amazing. Elon Musk, Vivek Ramaswamy, Tulsi Gabbard,
RFK,
J.D. Vance, RFK, Donald Trump. That's a populist unity ticket right there.
And I'm talking about the future as well, David. I'm saying like the future. What do the Democrats have to offer? And guys, and Rob, I want to genuinely ask you guys, because while you guys are talking, I was looking at, okay, they look at us like we're crazy, right? We look at them like, look at all these policies, look at all these problems. Are we nuts? Are we nuts that we just want this conservative mindset, this conservative movement? All right, I don't label myself a Republican. I'm not Democrat. I'm just a normal person that's going with my gut, which I think a lot of people have forgotten. When you talk about, well, what are the facts? No, how about your gut? When you see a bad person, everybody goes, yeah, I kind of don't trust that guy. It's something that you inherently feel in here. Is it just me, Tommy, or is it just like this side is so brainwashed and so gone? Because I always try to be devil's advocate, Tom. Are we being too crazy, or are they really that gone, Tom? And they're brainwashed and they don't get it.
No, they're not gone. They're citizens just like you and me, with lives and souls that are as valuable as you and me. But here's where it breaks down. On the left, you have a lot of feelings, and there's a lot of people that take their policy and position out of feelings. And the feelings create such a response that they're not willing to discuss or not able to discuss their position. There's a lot of feelings on the right as well, but it's usually reasoned. At the end of the day, Dems tend to think that Republicans are bad people or even evil.
Yes.
Whereas Republicans, at their core moderate, merely think the Dems are wrong and need to understand.
Gotcha.
And psychologists will tell you that that is how the divide is being cultivated
Perpetuated.
and stoked, how those fires are being stoked.
I am one of those people. So in 2008, I went to Cuyahoga Community College to watch Bruce Springsteen do an acoustic concert with Barack Obama. I thought the right wanted to take away.
That was rock the vote?
Yes,
that was it.
I was, Tom, I fell victim to the propaganda. I voted Democrat for my entire life. So
But tell us what you felt. Tell us how you were rationalizing your vote at that time.
That I believed in gay marriage, that a woman should have the right to choose, that capitalism was evil and socialism was good. You know where I went to? I went to a liberal arts college in New Jersey. I got indoctrinated, and the media didn't help. The media fuels this. And for the longest time, I sat here and I blamed social media. I thought social media was the problem and would lead to the downfall. And what I'm realizing, and this showed me it, take a look, because I want to go through how this Beyoncé was going to appear at the DNC, how this rumor mill began, and how the media kept going, knowing that she wasn't coming to fuel. Again, it's just a different version of propaganda, but I'm someone that fell victim to it.
Good.
And we talked a few weeks ago on this podcast about my plumber,
Yes.
right? My plumber came over and started arguing with me. So, why are you making all these conspiracy theory videos? Why are you always angry? And I was like, well, I don't think they're conspiracy theories. I think I'm talking about topics that you view as that. But these are just conversations that a lot of normal, rational people are having. But there's been a viewpoint put on these topics that they're conspiracy theories. So 3 weeks ago, we have that argument. He tells me I'm evil, I'm alt-right, whatever. Comes to my house on Saturday.
Tells you're what? Evil?
Not evil, but
but there's that word.
Characterizing that.
You're bad.
Yes, bad. My viewpoints aren't the best. We spent 7 hours on Saturday putting in my goal before the end of the election, because this guy is somebody that's just not paying attention.
Yes.
He's actually fallen victim to the propaganda. Before the election, my goal is this one guy, Phil, my plumber. I am going to show you that Donald Trump isn't the bad man everybody's made you to believe, and he actually has policies of substance that can improve your life.
Yeah.
And Kamala Harris isn't offering that. And we got down to it by like 6 o'clock on Sunday night or Saturday when we're working together. He's like, yeah, I could see why you kind of think that way. I'm like, all right, this is just one day. We've got a lot of time. But take a look. This is how the media started spinning. Here's what happened. I'm going to tell you the background story, then we'll play the video, then I'll give you the report, and then we can finish up on this. What started out as a bunch of anonymous accounts on Twitter, this is how the rumor that Beyoncé was going to appear at the DNC. It actually started on social media. But it's the media that people pay attention to, and the media is the one that has the duty to verify these reports, and they did not do their job.
Okay.
So it started out with a tweet. Angry staffer who claims to be a former White House staffer at @angry_staffer wrote, I've been sworn to secrecy, but you don't want to miss the DNC tonight. If you thought Oprah was a surprise, just wait. This person claims to be a former White House staffer with sources in Washington. But here's where the social media snowball begins. White House political director Emmy Ruiz. She posted a single emoji Thursday afternoon, the same night that Kamala is going to speak at the DNC the final night, she posts a bee emoji. White House political director Emmy Ruiz posted a single bee emoji, the unofficial symbol of the beehive, Beyonce's fan base on Twitter. Now, Ruiz later implies, she doesn't actually state, but she implied that her 6-year-old son took her phone and accidentally posted the buzzy bee on Twitter.
Weird.
I love how 6-year-olds do that all the time. It's so funny.
Yeah.
And then when
Modern day equivalent of my account was hacked.
yes, exactly. Wall Street Journal then goes and asks her for a comment, and she turns down their request for comment.
She does, 'cause her
then
kid's not there.
CNN sees the tweet, and CNN starts reporting 1 p.m. the day of the convention that people are buzzing. Again, keywords for Beyonce.
I love buzzing.
As they pregame for the convention. Then at 2:30 that afternoon, a CNN anchor, Breonna Keeler, asked Senator Chris Coons, a Democrat from Delaware, if Beyonce is going to perform that night, and he says you'll have to tune in to find out. Then at 8 p.m., and this is very interesting, at 8 p.m., TMZ issues a article. They put out an article, Beyonce performing at the DNC's final night. This is 8 p.m., the night of the convention. We could show this video, but it really doesn't. I mean, you could just pull it up. We showed it on PBD Podcast. Go watch the short clip. We can skip this. It's literally a montage of every single news outlet saying Beyonce is going to be there. At one point, they're reporting that Beyonce, it's crazy. They're actually reporting that Beyonce is en route to the convention.
How long is this? Can we watch
2 minutes. Go ahead. You can
watch a
play
little.
it.
Let's watch a little bit of this. Go ahead, Alicia.
There are rumors that Beyonce might make an appearance. I personally think that that's true, but we shall see.
There are. Oh, we're going to say this now. Can I say this?
Say it.
Wait, let's couch it in rumors.
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
rumbling.
Allegedly.
Okay, let's just say. So I mean, that's out there. The Beyonce talk.
You have to stay tuned, but I have it on really good word. The Beehive is buzzing right now because the preparation for the Beehive,
Look at the
it
guy,
has
look
to
at the
start
guy.
early.
Yeah.
Sources come from backstage. That's all I'll tell you.
Backstage.
TMZ and The Hill reporting that she will indeed be making a surprise performance on stage here.
Congressman was just dancing along, and he's excited that he's hearing rumors, which a donor confirmed to me that she's also hearing that Beyonce is en route.
President of
In-
all things
Okay,
music.
okay. Can you pause this? I
passion
want to
and
say something,
style.
Rob. Did you say? So you said at the end of the whole thing, her rep said she wasn't gonna come. Okay. Do you think that they basically told her, we're going to spread the rumor, you don't even have to perform, but we're going to give you X amount of dollars to do this?
So her pull up the next article. Beyonce's, no. Then the other one, right there. There you go. Beyonce is not performing at the DNC, was never scheduled to attend. This is the interesting part. This is reported by The Hollywood Reporter. This is August 22nd, Thursday, August 22nd, the 4th day of the DNC, the same day Kamala Harris is scheduled to speak, and everybody's reporting that Beyonce is going to be there. This comes out at 7:01 p.m. The representative states, and I quote, Beyonce was never scheduled to be there. The report of a performance is untrue. But then why did an hour later TMZ report that she was going to be there?
Weird.
So you have the representation of the artist coming out and saying she's not going to be there. Then you have the mainstream media still reporting even after the fact that she is coming, knowing that she's not coming. And then on top of that, this is my favorite part. And Tom, I wanted to get your advice on this because you've put a lot of events together. I worked in radio for 20 years before coming to Valuetainment. We would do every year in Cleveland, we did a massive 10,000 person rock festival that the radio station put on. And when I'm talking about the radio station, I'm talking about the promotions team, our program directors, the talent. But these are not it's not Live Nation. I worked for a guy named Rover. That was his name. Rover. That was the guy that put on these, and we managed to put on 10,000 people. There were no surprises. According to this article from the Daily, if you could pull it up, the Hollywood Reporter, even the DNC executive producers, they were under the assumption or impression that Beyonce was coming. These two, Ricky Kishner and Glenn Weiss, both spoke with the Hollywood Reporter where they said, yeah, we were just as surprised as everybody else that the rumors were going on, and we anticipated that she was going to show up. So how would you, organizing this massive event, as the producers of that event have no idea that one of the largest stars in the world is coming or not? It all just reeks of, hey, we're going to float this out there. We'll let the media report on it. We're going to get the cheap views by having people tune in because they're tuning in for these artists and not the actual person themselves that's speaking. And then we're going to run with the headline after we rig the ratings by getting people to tune in using the propaganda that we peddle. Then we'll report report on those ratings that are fake and say, oh, by the way, that's why Kamala Harris is going to win the election, because she's more popular than Trump, because the DNC got more viewers by 500,000 people.
Yeah, and by the way, are any of you guys surprised that the mainstream media, the DNC, and all these people are doing something like this? And I'm telling you right now, what I have a feeling, this is my gut that I've been telling you guys about, that they went to Beyonce and they say, listen, you and your Beehive, you don't even have to perform. We're just going to put the rumor out there, because obviously she's a Democrat, right? Jay-Z, Obama, all these, they're all Democrats, I would assume. But imagine that as an artist, that you're so popular. Let us use your name. Let us use your likeness. Let's hype you up. Girl, you don't even have to perform. Here's $5 million. Are you kidding me? With that many viewers and that many people?
I don't even think
you could speculate about that for a while. And I think your speculation is, not unreasonable at all.
Yeah.
But it comes down to one thing.
What?
The Democrats are better at this game right now.
You're right.
Yep. And whoever sat there and sat back and said, if we float this rumor, we'll get ratings. We can tout the ratings. We can tout the viewership. We can build the excitement. And what was the game? The game was build excitement.
Yep.
That is it. And get and why? Because coming out of the convention, you wanted bounce. You wanted bounce in the polling. You wanted, how do you get bounce? You need favorability. So they're talking about joy. They're bringing all these people to come in there to do everything but talk about the hard work of the policies that are going to improve the country and improve people. They bypassed that. They went for feel good, to increase her favorability rating, to make people feel good about the Democrats, and to create excitement. And they succeeded.
Yep.
That was the game here. Now the question is the bounce going to live? Because the counter-programming with RFK on Friday, Saturday was pretty damn good.
When do the polls, Tom, when will those poll numbers actually be reflective of everything we've seen over the past 4, 5, 6, 7 days? When will we actually see poll numbers that reflect?
It takes a minimum of 5 days to run a multi-format poll where you're running some calling. The older Democrats, older Republicans still have landlines at home. You're also running text, volunteers. Yes, I'll answer a text message, other than delete and report that all the rest of us do. Delete and report. Then you also have the email, and then you have voluntary online. All that has to come together to create a panel of registered voters or likely voters. That takes time. It takes 4 or 5 days to get an honest 600, and it probably takes closer to 6, 7 days a week to get 1,000 likely voters and to put together something reasonable. And right now it's going to take a week to do that, a couple days to frame it, and then the pollsters will hold it back from the media if it doesn't match the narrative. The left-leaning pollsters have been holding back polls for 2 weeks that were showing that her bounce was subsiding going into the convention because it doesn't match the narrative. So they tell Trafalgar, don't put that poll out, and they don't release it. And so if you look at the number of polls that have been released per day, remember we look at that chart on PBD podcast, all of a sudden it dropped down. Why? Because the polls were showing that she had an addition, a basic favorability bounce, but they couldn't get it any higher. So they ran the convention just like this. So it's going to take about a week. I want to see the polls that come out. Where we're sitting here now is right on September 7th and 8th. Polls are going to be released, but it's going to be going into the debate. And I believe those are going to show a flattening effect of her, whatever bounce she had out of the convention. And they're going to show more boost on substance from the combination of RFK, Tulsi, with a full volume endorsement beyond her more passive endorsement before. And I think Trump is actually ahead in battleground states. Not by 5 points, but I think it's all going to show up right before the debate. And that debate is do or die for Kamala Harris.
If I want to add one thing before we move on. What you just described, Rob, in terms of the tactic, it's an iteration of the wrap-up smear. It's information or disinformation laundering. Somebody puts out the lie. The media runs with it. They report on the report, which is based on a rumor. And they basically launder the lie and then make it true until such time as they can no longer deny it. And when Tom says, the Democrats are better at this than the Republicans, I agree. I would say that they're better liars and they're more liars. But even if I assume that they are equal amount of liars on the left and the right, the left controls the media, so when they want to launder their lie, they have the support of the media. When the Republicans try to do it, the media picks apart the lie and doesn't let them get away with it. So they are better at it. I happen to think they lie more, but they're definitely better, and they got away with it that night.
In North Carolina, around Duke University, they asked people, do you know that the DA, what happened to the DA in the Duke lacrosse alleged rape of a sex worker? Remember that?
I remember that story.
They were all
2000s.
acquitted. They were all acquitted. All the young men were acquitted. What happened to the DA?
She got money from a PAC.
He got indicted and went to prison. It was falsified. Nobody knows about it. Wow. But do you know about the young men on the Duke lacrosse team and the horrible, evil thing? Of course we do.
Yeah, of course.
Nobody knows they were acquitted, and nobody knows the DA went to prison. Thank you.
Yeah, yep.
Didn't the DA, one of the DAs I thought got like some sort of money from the Rainbow Push Coalition for something, but I might be mixing up names here.
Exactly. But why are we all still uncertain about that? You're right, but why is it there? Because the game was the upfront. Terrible, rich, white kids on the lacrosse team at terrible, evil, high-end elitist Duke commit atrocity against this sex worker. Turns out not to be true, and the people involved in law enforcement do the time.
Yeah.
But nobody knows about it.
To your point, it was actually the Rainbow Push Coalition announced that they were going to pay the college tuition of the black exotic dancer who told police that she was raped by the white members of Duke's.
And she kept that, or they still gave it to her despite her having fabricated the whole thing.
All right, guys. I mean,
Well, mission accomplished.
yeah, that's what I was
Duke
gonna
and
say.
these young men were smeared.
Yeah,
Mission
and their lives
accomplished.
are. Yeah, their lives are.
To your point,
Yeah.
the lie is recirculated. People report on the report. I was just reporting the report. If CNN's reporting is wrong, all I have to say is CNN reported today.
That's it.
And now I'm innocent. I'm reporting on the report. Yeah. The young men are smeared.
And
the narrative served. They get their form of perverted non-justice that they call justice. And then when the reality comes out, guess what?
Yeah, nobody even cares. What's up, everybody? Vincent O'Shaughnessy here. If you want to see me and the entire Valuetainment crew, we will be at the Vault Conference September 4th through the 7th at the Palm Beach Convention Center, hosted by none other than Patrick Bet-David and featuring Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Guys, this is the place to be. If you are an entrepreneur and you want to level up, do not miss this opportunity. This is the best place to network. If you want tickets, go to thevaultconference.com. Do not waste time. This thing is going to sell out, and I will see you guys there. Peace and love. So if you like this clip, click right here. And if you want to see more like it, click right here. Stay angry, Patriots.